All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are a week removed from WrestleMania. Things are picking up. We're gearing towards Extreme Rules or Extreme Rules, depending on who you're talking to. We just finished watching Raw, so let's kick off with the Raw review. What? We open up with an Authority segment. The Authority talking about all the accolades that they got from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Triple H beat Sting. We had Big Show win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Stephanie slapped The Rock.
Kane was there, and Seth Rollins capped off the night by winning the World Championship. They start talking about how great they are. Orton comes out and says, "Well, you're leaving something out. Before you won the championship, I beat you with the best RKO of my career, and I feel like that gives me a shot at the championship." And Kane, who's kind of been feeling left out of this whole hurrah for the Authority.
Yeah.
Him being in charge of the night because Stephanie and Triple H are on vacation. He says, you know what, Orton, you're kind of right, and since I am director of Authority, I'm going to make a triple threat match for later tonight between you, Ryback, and Roman Reigns, and the winner of that gets to face Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules. But first, all three of those guys have to go in singles matches, and Orton's match starts now. So let's run through the matches we had on Raw. We had Orton defeat Kane in the first match. We had Rollins defeat Adrian Neville. Paige and Naomi defeated the Bellas. Ryback defeated Luke Harper. The Lucha Dragons defeated the New Day. Reigns defeated Big Show. Sheamus defeated Mark Henry. We had The Miz defeat Damien Mizdow, and then Randy Orton winning the triple threat in the main event. So our first match, Orton versus Kane. Kane is feeling left out of this whole Authority thing. He's not getting a lot of praise because he didn't really do anything worthwhile at WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta face it. They had both of the Authority big guys in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So only one of them would be able to win anyways.
Yeah.
It wasn't Kane.
No. Kane and Orton had a good match.
Kane came out very aggressive right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all the frustration, though. He's going to take the frustration out on somebody.
Yeah.
Turned out Randy Orton was the guy.
Yeah. Randy Orton is, even though Kane is really, he's delivering a lot of heavy blows to Randy Orton. Orton is on top for a lot of this, and Kane kind of sees that at one point when Orton does a back suplex onto the barricade on the outside. Orton firmly in control at this point, but Kane decides to take the cheap way out and hit Randy Orton with a chair.
Got himself DQ'd.
Yeah.
The Authority style.
So he takes the chair and Orton back into the ring, attempts a chokeslam onto the chair.
Gets Kane arm.
Gets Kane arm for a second. And Orton goes for the RKO. Kane pushes him off. Kane powders out. And the Authority runs away like little bitches. And Orton has a victory heading into the triple threat match where he'll face Ryback and Kane. So then we come back from commercial, and we've got Kane talking to Brad Maddox.
Well, it was more Brad Maddox talking at Kane.
Yeah. Kane said he barged into the office.
Yeah, Brad Maddox was like, "Oh, and I think you're doing a decent job," or something like that. Whatever. Then Kane was just basically like, "Dude, I don't care about you. You go away." But before he could even kick Brad Maddox out, Seth Rollins came in and was all up in arms like, "Who do you think you are making these matches and blah, blah, blah." And Kane's basically like, "Hey, guess what? You're the champion, but we still have shows, so we still need the title to be defended at these shows.
Yeah.
Shows like WrestleMania and Extreme Rules and shit."
Yeah.
So, I thought having you against a decent opponent would be a good idea to have at a pay-per-view. And Seth's all, whatever, and he storms away. Then he comes back and he gets all nose up.
Seth had some great moments on Raw. I love the fact that he's just, I don't know what it was. He had comedic timing tonight. It was just great.
Yeah, and he came up and got all nose into Kane's face and was like, oh yeah, blah, 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 and, you know, I bet when I get a hold of Triple H and Stephanie, they're going to get rid of you, and blah, 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 and Kane's like, all right, you have a match now, like, tonight, like,
and,
right now,
yeah,
go
like
away,
right now.
Go get to your match,
yeah.
which was against Adrian Neville.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Adrian Neville with a new little intro video, change up to his music.
And a little, like, comet coming down to the planet, and then when it hits, the pyro explodes.
Yeah, it's a cool little intro. And then Neville and Rollins put on a hell of a match.
It was really fun to watch.
It was a great back and forth style. You know, Tyler Black versus Pac on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, just a really great showing for Neville. Obviously, Rollins gets the win. Though, I mean,
Neville came on like really hard and heavy at the beginning, kicking and the step up Hurricane Rana,
yeah,
and then the dive, the sort of pseudo cartwheel moonsault over the ropes, and then Rollins was able to get the advantage for a good portion of the match, slapping him around a lot, did a lot of chin locks, slows the match down a lot, went for the buckle bomb, and as he's running towards the corner, Neville turns it into a Hurricane Rana to the buckles.
Yes.
So a buckle Rana.
Yeah.
Which was a neat twist.
It was. And I liked when Neville did the dive, I liked that both J&J tried to attack him and he was like able to like sneak his way through and get
he
back
had that
in the
moment,
ring.
he dives on Rollins and he gets up and he actually looks and sees that the J&J are coming for him, but he gets out of the way. And then eventually he ends up going to the well one too many times.
Yeah,
he goes for the Rana again.
Yeah.
And gets caught and gets buckle bombed and curb stomped.
Yeah.
Seth gets the win, and then post match gets a secondary curb stomp with some help from J&J.
Yeah.
Little emphasis. Rollins, I think, is overcompensating.
Well, you know,
saying like, "Hey, I'm the champion. Fear me? I don't know."
Yeah, I don't know. He's picking on the new guy.
I'm scared of his nose.
Well, that's why he looks up to Triple H. He's like, a man who understands my...
I'm afraid if I get too close to the front of Seth Rollins, I'll get sucked up in that thing.
Don't get too close. Yeah, so, you know, Neville, Adrian Neville, welcome to the main roster. You know, not nearly as effective as your squash on Curtis Axel last week, but
a really fun match.
But an awesome showing nonetheless. Up next we have Cena continuing his U.S. title, his U.S. title open challenge. You know, letting anyone who wants a shot at the U.S. title to come and get it, because Rusev has stated that he wants his rematch. He's getting it at Extreme Rules, but you know, we still got a couple weeks before Extreme Rules, so Cena's letting anyone challenge him for the U.S. title. Last week we got Dean Ambrose. This week we get Stardust.
Yeah, interesting choice. Kind of a fun idea. I really like open challenges in general, especially when it's not overly predictable of who's going to come out and answer the open challenge.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, they proved right off the bat with the first week with Dean Ambrose being the first guy to come out, and now Stardust, that this really is like, they're definitely going to want to keep everybody guessing who's going to come out. Because I immediately thought Rusev was going to be the first person and just kind of like out and, you know, continue their shtick. But no, I mean, overall, they put on an okay match, Cena and Stardust.
Yeah, there was some good spots.
Nothing to really write home about, though.
No, I mean it's very much, you know, Cena playing the power game. You know, Stardust, you know, a little bit faster, a little bit more nimble on the ropes. I do like his step up into the disaster kick, which is really cool. Cena ends up picking the win, hitting his springboard stunner, and then following that up with the AA.
Yeah, Cena, I like, I guess it's a really different dynamic of a match than the last week's match with Ambrose.
Yes.
Because it was more of Cena asserting the dominant champion position.
Yeah. And that you know, that also kind of took away, because, you know, like you were saying while we were watching, it was very much more one-sided than last week was. Ambrose stood more of a chance against Cena than Stardust did. Though Stardust did have a couple of flurries of offense, it just wasn't enough because he's significantly smaller and a lot easier to throw around than Dean Ambrose is.
Yeah, and then one of the things that sort of disappointed me is I know that Cena and Cody Rhodes have been in the ring together a lot. Especially while Cena was feuding with Orton during the Legacy era. So I was hoping they'd have better chemistry in the ring together. But it seemed like there was a lot of weird little bits that didn't quite pan out maybe the way they anticipated them to.
Yeah,
There was that bit where, like, Stardust runs and jumps at Cena, and Cena, like, catches them, but they go into, like, a pile driver position.
It was like,
and
that was, like,
this,
really...
a slow motion backdrop into a sunset flip.
And it was really early in the match, too, so I was like, okay, that's, this is them feeling each other out, for the... I can't remember the last time they went against each other. It's been a while. But yeah, there was a couple other spots that were just not as crisp as they could have been. But for the most part, it was a solid match. Not gonna dog it too much because I like the fact that Cena is going against different people than he normally does.
Yeah.
Granted, he's faced Dean Ambrose before, but to go against Stardust is a completely different direction than we've seen Cena in recent years. So I'm excited to see who else ends up accepting the open challenge.
My favorite spot was Cena's stalling suplex.
Yes, a very good stalling suplex.
And JBL's commentary about all the star blood rushing to the star head.
So weird. Oh my god. Yeah, the commentary was strange. Byron doesn't know what the fuck he's doing as lead commentator. Is it weird that I missed Michael Cole?
Yes and no.
Yeah. I missed Michael Cole just for the fluidity of the commentary, but I didn't miss Michael Cole because he's Michael Cole. I'm just glad we still had JBL and Booker T. Next match, we had another Divas tag team match. We had Paige teaming with Naomi this week, taking on the Bella Twins.
So last week, -2.
Yes. This was okay. Nikki, you dropped the ball a couple of times.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah. Naomi looked great. Paige looked great. Brie kind of did her shtick. Brie didn't really step out of the box too much.
No one really did anything too out of the ordinary in this match.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of what I thought was the good thing about it, is that they kind of knew the time they had for the match and they went with what they knew.
Yeah.
So like, hey, these are the things we know, so we're gonna do those so it doesn't look bad.
Yeah. I do love the fact that we have Naomi up in this spot now, because I've been waiting for her to get that singles push for a long time. She's getting that push towards the title, which is great because, they say it every week, she is the most athletic diva on the roster.
Yeah.
And she's just got such cool offense, and it's fun to watch her in the ring. And she ends up picking up the win, hitting the head scissors DDT on Nikki. Nikki didn't sell it quite good, but...
Yeah, I like the setup to the finish is what I thought was the best part of the match. The storytelling-wise, because it plays into what happened on Raw when Nikki accidentally knocked out Brie with a forearm. This was Paige was setting up to super kick Brie, but Brie was picking Nikki up and picked Nikki up right in the way of the super kick. Yeah. And then she turned and goes, "Nikki, no!" and then gets tackled by Paige. And they roll out of the ring together.
Oh, man.
Which gave Naomi the time to hit that head scissor DDT.
I feel like this is them just trying to break up the Bella Twins again. And I'm okay with it, but at the same time, just like, why the fuck didn't you do this before?
Yeah, I feel like what's going to happen out of this, more so than just breaking up the Bella Twins, is that I feel like, especially because of an announcement that's made later on in the show, because let's transition from diva to diva here.
Yeah.
Kane gets mauled by half the diva roster.
Yes.
In the locker room, and they convince him.
Alicia Fox, Summer Rae, Natalya, and Cameron.
Yeah, and they convince him to do a all divas battle royal on Raw next week to determine the number one contender for the Divas Championship.
Which will probably turn into a match at Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Money's on Naomi for me.
Yep.
But I lost my train of thought.
Breaking the Bellas.
Yeah, that it's, having them accidentally hit each other or cause each other to get hit, followed by announcing that there's going to be a battle royal, I think I wanted to make it, maybe it's try to make it look like it's going to be very much more every diva for herself in the coming future. Where, obviously we've had Paige and Naomi team up and whatnot, but basically, I feel like all alliances are going to be dropped here in the near future, and all the divas are going to be kind of at each other.
And I'm okay with that. I feel like it's weird that they stopped the breakup just to put them together, just to break them up again, potentially. So, but we'll have to wait and see. Up next, we had the Primetime Players segment. This was absolutely hysterical.
Last week it was the New Day. This time it was the Detention.
No. The Ascension.
Oh yeah. The Flying Monkeys mixed with Legion of Doom.
Oh my God. They had their football pads with their funky little cones.
Their traffic cones wrapped in aluminum foil.
Yeah, here, fix that. It's so bizarre that I'm finding Titus O'Neil hilarious, just with how much shit we give him on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But him and Darren Young are just fucking hilarious together.
I want to know who's writing their stuff.
Whoever it is, they're writing gold because they're they even started this promo by talking about the New Day again.
Yeah.
Just giving shots at each one.
Kofi, don't talk about my chest, Kingston.
And Buckwheat. But yeah, just them ragging on the Ascension. I'm wondering what this is leading to. The tag team division is really interesting right now because now we've got the Lucha Dragons moved up, which we'll get to in a second. We've got the New Day. The Matadors are making waves now. The Masters are awesome tag team champions. The Ascension are starting to get more integrated again. So we've got a pretty big tag team division right now. And, and each one is doing some interesting stuff here and there. So, but yeah, this segment was just hilarious.
Yeah, let's get the tag team theme rolling.
Yeah.
And talk about the New Day's promo with Renee Young.
Yes. New Day have been, on the end of some very negative remarks, especially through WrestleMania weekend.
The crowd, since they've debuted, the crowd has never been fully behind the New Day.
No, it was like the first week they were behind him and then they just fell flat.
Yeah, it's a gimmick that really has had a hard time trying to get over anywhere.
Because people don't like positivity, goddammit.
I don't know what it is, to be honest. Yeah, New Day sucks. JBL thinks it's a catchy chant.
Yeah.
But, Renee basically asks, hey, what are your feelings on all the negativity? And Kofi basically says, Xavier Woods starts off says it hurts.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. But Kofi comes back and says, you know what, though? There's not going to be any disappointment. You're not going to find anything bad from their dancing or their cheering or their clapping because we clap or we snap.
Yeah. And then Big E takes over. He talks about he's been one of the more vocal ones about the chants themselves, And they're not gonna let any of the negativity get them down. They're gonna, they're always gonna be clapping. They're always gonna be, the positive, the new day, blah blah blah. And then Xavier Woods just has that real that
sad face.
That's the sad face. And then they're just, I love what they're doing here with this gimmick, because I always felt like, because we initially thought they were going to be the new nation, and then when they came out with this gimmick, we're like, okay, this is not the new nation. Completely different. But I always felt like, because the gimmick wasn't getting over, that heel turn was definitely there. It was a very high possibility to happen, and they started doing that tonight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the one match that happened before that, though. We did have Ryback taking on Luke Harper. A very short match, a very physical match. Both guys busting their ass, trying to really stand out from the rest of the card.
Harper kicked Ryback's face in with that super kick.
Whoa.
Ryback was charging for the meat hook clothesline, and Harper's foot got to his face way before any of Ryback got to Harper.
Yeah. And Ryback had a super impressive gorilla press slam on Harper. Ryback ends up picking up the win. I think Harper gets the shoulder to the post, I think.
Yeah,
and then
shell shock right away.
Sets up for the shell shock. So Ryback has a win going into the main event. But now we'll get back to the New Day. The New Day took on the Lucha Dragons. We had Big E and Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston on the outside. Lucha Dragons, as exciting as always, but the main theme of this match was seeing the switch of the New Day.
Yeah.
First, right off the bat, we had the continuous tags from Woods and Big E stomping Kalisto in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That first at first it wouldn't seem heelish. It's smart tactics. It's cutting the ring in half, keeping the guy on your side. The Masters were watching the match also, by the way. They're keeping a close eye on the tag teams and whatnot. But then you start to see the real switch, because immediately with Kofi doing the clapping and the smacking of the ring, you hear the crowd already getting into it. So then, as the Lucha Dragons are gaining the advantage, Kofi ends up kicking Kalisto in the face from the outside.
Yeah, what it was Kalisto got pushed towards the rope. The referee was distracted on the opposite side of the ring, and Kofi did the Trouble in Paradise kick.
Yeah.
And hit Kalisto, and Xavier Woods rolled him up. Didn't win, though.
No.
Kalisto kicked out, and Xavier Woods was like, holy crap, how come that didn't beat him?
Yeah, but the look on Xavier Woods' face was really great, because he looked at Kofi and he went, okay, I like this heel thing. This is cool. Kalisto ends up getting a blind tag with Sin Cara. Hits the Selena del Sol. Actually, Xavier Woods went for a German.
Yeah. Which
Kalisto turned into the Selena del Sol. Then he does backflip, corkscrew, some sort of crazy move.
He dove.
He dove.
On Big E and Kofi.
Yeah, took out Big E and Kofi.
Who were for some reason on the ramp side of the ring.
Yeah.
For this portion.
Sin Cara hits the Swanton on Woods, getting the win for the Lucha Dragons. It was a really entertaining match, and I love the switch of the New Day. I'm looking forward to more of this.
Yeah, they definitely figured out a way, I think, to rescue the New Day's gimmick.
Yeah. And then in our final singles match heading into the triple threat, Roman Reigns defeated the Big Show. This is very much kind of seeing Reigns do the same thing he had to do against Lesnar. Really having to push through the dominance of his opponent.
Yeah, withstanding the storm.
Yeah.
Weathering the storm.
And he won very similar to what happened towards the end of him and Lesnar as well. He hits the 3 Superman punches, goes for the 4th one, gets caught for the choke slam, gets Kane arm, ducks the clothesline, hits the spear, and pins Big Show.
My note about this match is Big Show. Kudos, new move.
Yeah, he did a sliding drop kick. That was awesome. Big Show just like at random intervals, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind. And I'm gonna throw a drop kick, or a sunset flip, solar system flip. Then we had Sheamus come out talking about all the little guys and how there's no men in WWE anymore.
Somebody took exception to this. It's Mark Henry.
Yes.
You can't say there's no men in WWE because his title is World's Strongest Man. Come on, Sheamus. Did you look at the entire roster? Did you get one of those superstar books they were selling at Access?
Apparently not.
No. You're too busy getting your beard beaded. Braided and beaded. The Triple B. The braided beaded beard.
Sheamus ends up picking up the win with a brogue kick on Mark Henry. Yeah, I mean...
After he ripped the top of the commentator's table off during this match.
Yeah.
JBL specifically says, watch out for my hat, and the hat still flies off the table.
And gets crushed by the little
top thing.
Little table topper. It was a very, very simple match. It was more so just to...
Put Sheamus over.
Put Sheamus over. We then find out that the tag team match we were supposed to get last week on SmackDown will happen this week, where we get Bryan and Ziggler taking on Barrett and Sheamus.
Yeah.
Then we get Bray Wyatt. First time seeing him since WrestleMania. He starts talking to someone new, talking about this person as is so focused on dedication and their success. And it's it was a really interesting thing because this is kind of Bray Wyatt's new thing is he'll put out just these little clues and we have to try to figure out who he's talking to, and I'm really interested in what this is. Like, my mind went through a couple different names, but
I'm having a hard time putting a pinpoint on this one.
Do you have a guess right off the top of your head at all?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because really, the whole dedication spiel, I only really ever makes me think of Cena.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who popped into my head right off the bat. But I was like, yeah, they already did Wyatt Cena. So I'm probably gonna be somebody else.
Maybe just I'm wondering if maybe just a straight singles feud between Bryan and Wyatt without Harper and Rowan on Wyatt's side.
Yeah, it could happen. I'm thinking Wyatt's too fresh of a face to repeat a feud already.
True.
He's only been in for WWE for a little under 2 years on the main roster.
Yeah.
I still think they have a little while to run with Bryan and Barrett too.
Yeah, true. The Intercontinental title is definitely something that'll draw Bryan away from obviously Wyatt at this point, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see who Wyatt ends up pinpointing later on.
My other theory is that maybe it's just a promo for the sake of having Bray Wyatt on Raw doing a promo.
And they'll just kind of connect the dots with whoever they decide to...
Yeah.
Alright.
Or maybe they're just trying to throw you off the scent of where Bray Wyatt's really going to go.
Yeah. And then just before our main event, we had the final implosion of Miz and Mizdow, their first singles match since Mizdow made the split at WrestleMania. Mizdow, very much in control for a lot of this match.
He was definitely the aggressor.
Yeah. He was not letting Miz do anything for a while.
This was that moment of pseudo Stone Cold Vince McMahon, where the worker gets to take his aggression out on the boss.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to watch, and yeah, he was whooping the Miz's butt, pillar to post.
Yeah,
even no sold a kick in the face.
Oh yeah, and then he just hauled off on the Miz, and he's like, "You motherfucker!"
Just Miz kicked him in the face again and took the advantage finally.
Yeah. And then the end when he catches the kick, Miz going for a low blow.
Late low blow.
And Miz now catches the foot and looks and goes, "Really?" And it was a great spot.
Yeah, and he runs through the spiel where he does all the Miz's stuff. He does that backbreaker into the neck breaker, kip up, and sets up for the skull crushing finale. Miz got out of it, ended up wiggling his way into a schoolboy roll up, grabbing the tights, and getting a victory over Mizdow.
Yeah. I'm definitely seeing a rematch at Extreme Rules.
Probably.
Do a little bit more build up over the next couple weeks, and yeah. I'm excited for it. I do want Mizdow to not be Mizdow anymore. I want him to be Sandow and just be a babyface. Then we had our main event, Randy Orton versus Ryback versus Roman Reigns. The winner gets to face Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was very much how you described it. It was everyone gets their shit in, a lot of spots, a lot of...
It's just everyone hit all their signature stuff.
Yeah. It was good, though.
Nothing fancy.
It worked, especially since we got to see all three of these guys, do their thing in singles matches earlier on. So I didn't feel like we were cheated at all.
Yeah.
Because everyone got a chance to stand out, and everyone got their moments in this triple threat match. We had the Authority make their presence known towards the end of it, and they start to really cause havoc, to each of the three guys. Roman Reigns getting the two knockout punches, technically, on the outside. Trying to remember what happened to Orton.
Well, Orton grabbed Rollins and tried to bring him into the ring for the DDT.
Oh, that's...
Got stopped by J&J Security.
Yeah,
who
right.
got taken out by Ryback. They completely ignored Ryback.
Yeah.
Ryback got rid of J&J Security, but that gave Orton the opening to hit the RKO for the win.
Yeah.
To me, the part of this match that stood out the most is how Reigns, Orton, and Ryback showed a lot of urgency in ending the match.
Yeah, everyone going for falls consistently, just trying to take advantage of every moment.
Yeah, and I mean, it showed, too, that it's like, hey, they respect that both of their opponents are top-tier guys, and that they're all tired because they've all already wrestled, so they're trying to end it quick. Because the faster you can get it over with, the better chance you have of winning, because you're not going to get worn out again. But yeah, I mean, it was. I think the last 2 weeks have been a fairly strong showing for Ryback.
Yes, very much so. And he had a strong showing in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania as well. So Orton picks up the win over Ryback. Immediately gets curb stomped by Seth Rollins. I think he ended up hitting a second one. No? Oh no, I'm thinking about Neville. He's Rollins really hits the curb stomp on Randy Orton. Really trying
right
to get
after
that,
the match ended.
Yeah. Getting that advantage immediately. Roman's down on the outside. Ryback just got hit with an RKO. So none of them are, in any shape to get up and start fighting the Authority. So, the Authority stands tall. They started off, getting the run around and ended up finishing the night pretty strong. Yep. Good job running the show, Kane. I was impressed.
Pretty decent show.
I enjoyed it. That's it for the Raw review. We've got all kinds of videos this week. It's Streak Week. It's going to be my pick. We'll be doing that later in the week when Thomas Wolfe is around. We got a jam-packed indie news, lots of results, some upcoming shows, and a little bit of news in there too. And then later on in the week, we'll have the midweek wrap-up and the SmackDown rundown. So be sure to look for those. All those are going to be over in the playlist. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, comment, tell us what you thought about Raw, what you think about the matches coming up for Extreme Rules, and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, email him, email all of us, do all that stuff. Let's talk about wrestling, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.